In 1974, German double bassist Eberhard Weber released his first album as a headliner, the ECM release The Colours of Chloë, and from it, the title track. I believe I'm hearing like a trickling Fender. Sounds just kind of like fading in, some like violin, some cymbal. Cello. Yeah, we have cellos by the Südfunk Symphony Orchestra, Stuttgart. And Eberhard Weber is also credited on the instrument. E flat. And the cello is emphasizing the G in E flat. No. The cymbals are just kind of going, just fading in, fading out. No, no, no. The whole time, though, you can hear that tonality of E flat. And now we're heading into the song proper, or the composition proper. I really like that woodwind that's, accenting the bass line. Oh, that was quite a roll. Yeah, no. Yeah. Notice how the cymbals are keeping pace. B. Ba 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 ba. I think we just went. We just went a tritone. Kind of like notice that piano figure. No 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 no. It's just kind of like droning along. There's quite a minimalistic element to this. Like certain parts just kind of like droning on and on and on, like simple figures, and then other elements just kind of coming in, interjecting, and starting to like add over the top of it. Sustained kind of blurry sounds, often kind of like maybe selectively muted, like the strings that are coming in right here. This is just so atmospheric. I, I'd be hard pressed to really describe this as jazz. So that labels are really insignificant when it just comes to the overall like finished product of the music, which has to kind of stand on its own. But ECM is just one of those few labels that just kind of has its own distinct sound in the majority of releases that it puts out that just defies all preconceived idiomatic categories and just stands on its own. Like if I was, I guess, to describe ECM sound to the layperson who's not familiar with the releases on that label, I guess I would have to say a mixture of minimalism, ambient music, and 20th century classical, and with just like a touch maybe of avant-garde jazz. Uh, I love the like atmospheric tones that bass is putting in, the kind of dark, kind of now this like the bass was providing sort of was giving me sort of kind of like a feeling of like cozy darkness, kind of like nightfall, and then this piano comes in, this sprinkling, and it kind of sounds a bit more oh like daytime. Ah, that is such a beautiful glissando. And here are the brushes that we got on the drums now. I guess these different passages and sounds that we're hearing are supposed to represent the colors of Chloë. Oh, that is so beautiful. And it is by Rainier Brüninghaus, yeah, who plays piano and synthesizer on the album. And the drums on this track are by Ralf Hübner. Oh, hear that blurry sound just coming in with the strings. That is probably that could be the Südfunk symphony strings. Okay, yeah, we've gone through just like a few tonal passage, like a few key centers here. Compositionally, this does seem somewhat simple when you just think of it as when you just break it down to like uh, the root notes that everything just kind of plays off of, and yeah, you just throw on some kind of glissando passages and some choice notes on the cello and a few bass lines and I think that piano is probably my favorite instrument in this whole piece. Takes my breath away. Yeah, I don't see in this Discogs entry electric piano or Fender Rhodes. It just says piano synthesizer. So that sound, I don't know for sure about the sound we heard at the very beginning. Oh, I love that slide right there. No, no. Here's where he's about to make one of those kind of angular plunges, I think. That's what I was talking about. I swear there's a tritone heard in there, because it's there's a real sharpness, kind of like, oh. Like a half step right there. Na 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 na. Oh, just smooth bass line going, kind of taking that plunge amid the kind of blurry, kind of like back and forth half step. And that sound back, kind of a watery sound. Oh, now that's an interesting. What is that? There was a note there. I couldn't quite tell if it was if it was a really low key on a piano or just a really low bass note, or it went like dong. I love the way the drummer is just controlling those cymbals so subtly. The way he has them blending in, blending out. Just giving this kind of like foggy, sort of cloudy ambience. No, no. Yeah, I think overall just a really beautiful pastoral composition that the root of it seems to be relatively simple. It's how they built it up with all these sounds and layers and everyone just kind of subtly adding their little tonal colors and yeah, the bass kind of giving us some dark, edgy nuances at times. The drums giving us this cloudy atmosphere when needed, and the cellos just kind of blurring in, like droning at times, and adding oh, like sonic nuance, and then the piano just stealing the show with those sparkly runs, and of course we had the kind of watery electric tones at the start and finish of the track. Yeah, all I guess embodying the colors of Chloe, the title track to the 1974 album of the same name by German double bassist and composer Eberhard Weber, released on ECM. The bassist's first album as a band leader in what would turn out to be a rather prolific career over the next decade and a half. He would release, let's see, at least one, two, three, four, five, six, seven albums over the ensuing 14-year period, probably a few more, but Colors would even become the name of his ensemble at one point. Yeah, he would release a bunch of solo albums on the label, and then he would release a few as Eberhard Weber Colors. Yeah, and yeah, they're all of a similar quality and maintain that kind of ambient, um, minimalistic, uh, dare I say, new age, um, chamber, classical, jazz type vibe. Anyway, for more Rubies and Sapphires from the catalog of Eberhard Weber, see the directory of albums by German artists linked in the description below for red hot tracks and purples from this album and a bunch of the ones after it, like The Following Morning, Yellow Field, Silent Feet, Fluid Rustle, Little Movements. Yeah. Like and subscribe and follow me on social media and leave a comment if there are any observations you have about the track we just heard, the layers, the nuances, the harmonics of it all, which solo instrumentalist stood out to you. And until next time, this is Zaragon, the world's most ear-traveled Trimaximalist, signing off.